beauty. Beauty is a social construct. Hence, you are never pleased with how you look, no matter the day. Noma kezakalani, there is always something missing, especially as women. There's always something missing, something needs to be added, removed. Just you always work towards becoming your best version, right? But you never arrive to your best version because you treat yourself as a project, you treat yourself as a product. Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
How y'all doing?
I know. I apologize that I went on a hiatus. I have no like real reason apart from being self-conscious and overthinking just my life and stuff like that. So we're human beings, these things happen. I'm back, I'm locked in, I'm gonna have fun with this. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Yandi. I am passionate about deconstructing harmful narratives that disconnect us from ourselves. And I am starting this new era with a new series, which I will title Yes, It Is That Deep. As you know, we are in a rise of anti-intellectualism. Yes, I use big words here. Get with the program, But a lot of the time, we, as people who are passionate about certain societal values, we are often told that it's not that deep. So me, on my side, I believe that everything is indeed that deep and we will unpack it together, my love. So, starting off with this series, we are going to talk about beauty and aesthetics.
You brings the corsets, Bill brings his inches. No one wants a waist over 9 inches. So what's the makeup contains lead poison. At least your complexion will bring all the boys.
According to the Oxford Dictionary, aesthetics is a set of principle that is embedded in appreciation of beauty. And according to African society, aesthetics is a set of principles that is embedded in appreciation of beauty through culture, tradition, and spirituality. Our ancestors had a holistic approach in identity, a holistic approach in beauty. So it is not just about what looks pretty, it is an expression of identity through artistic expression. I might be rocky for the first couple of minutes of this video. Bear with me. Bear with me. But this definition really stuck with me because as a people, as a society, we tend to express ourselves artistically, right? Through how we present ourselves aesthetically. There is just a way that aesthetics or beauty has just an influence in our mind and an influence on what we appreciate as society and what we see as valuable in society. We use beauty outside of being an authentic artistic expression. We use it as a statement of desirability, whether something or someone deserves to be valuable, or whether something or someone even deserves to be embraced or deserves to just be paid attention to. Now, I don't think that beauty can necessarily be properly defined, right? Because it differs from people, right? You and me might see differently in terms of what we see as beautiful, right? So I don't think that there's a specific definition of beauty, but we can agree that there is some sort of a collective agreement of what we see as beautiful. Therefore, it is a social construct. What do I mean by this? It is a construct that is not subjective but rather objective. Subjective means it is a personal opinion, it is self defined. Objective means it is a collective opinion which is defined through research and a collective agreement. For example, what the media will show as beautiful today, right, is not what they showed 10 years ago, right? There is just this collective agreement that keeps changing over the years that we succumb to. Although there is more inclusion when it comes to what is advertised as beautiful, especially in the media, we cannot ignore how low-key, it can blur the lines between self-appreciation and performance.
The issue followed me to high school, where I was told I should straighten or relax or cut my hair off because it is not wanted and it is dirty.
A teacher came to me and said, you ladies with dreadlocks, you're so dirty. That really touched me deeply.
Remember when you were younger, specifically in primary school, where you wished you had white people's hair and you wished that you had a lighter skin? You would spend hours and hours scrubbing, just peeling your skin off, scrubbing your body, your skin off so that it can quote unquote appear lighter. 9 out of 10 times, this is a basic experience of a South African girl, especially if you fall under a dark-skinned South African girl. We would fantasize about being lighter or whiter or living like white people. We would fantasize about being a bit thinner, a bit lighter, with at least relaxed hair, right? Sometimes we would literally hate our afros, right? Not because it's time consuming, but because it doesn't do a slick back, right? I believe that it's not just a mere quote unquote younger experience. No, I believe that our desire at that age, especially about wanting to be whiter or live like white people, is because we were fed this truth that our oppressor live better than us, right? In order for us to live like them, we have to be like them or look like them, right? So this is not just a young fantasy or a fantasy we had at a young age. It is literally some form of a generational trauma that obviously started through apartheid, obviously started through colonialism. So we're gonna deep dive into all of that. The practice of beauty pre-colonial times in Africa, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, that it is an appreciation of self through a holistic approach. Hair and jewelry are literally the perfect example of this. For example, the Chisumu hairstyle. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I would be embarrassed. The Chisumu hairstyle, which was styled into a thick, rounded loop and was styled also with jewelry such as seashells, was not just a hairstyle, but it was a symbolization. No, that's not a real word. A symbolism of maturity, coming of age, social status, and initiation. Like many African hairstyles, right, Chisumu was or is rather a hairstyle that is embedded in cultural significance, right? During colonial imperialism, which is around 1800s, our African hairstyles were seen as uncivilized, unorganized, dirty, just all over the place, right? It wasn't understood by colonial people, so it was demonized and seen as uncivilized. And in order for us to be socially accepted, we had to conform to European beauty standards. And when I mean socially accepted, I don't mean just your normal validation of from people. Just for you to be able to get a job, you had to look a certain way. Even I remember during orientation day, right, in high school, a couple of people obviously had dreadlocks. I remember they were told that dreadlocks are not allowed in high school because they are quote unquote unclean. No one can take care of them. They're uncivilized and they just look ghetto or something like that. Even today, bruh. And they so 2000 and like 2025, even today, schools still preach just a demonization of afros, of just natural black hair. So we value European beauty standards because internally, in order for us to live with our oppressor or live like our oppressors, we have to look like our oppressors. That's why even today we still use European hair as a statement of desirability. When that lady said, "You cannot come sit in my table, me afro," come on, it's a joke, but come on.
Red nose and chin are of different lengths. The cheeky triangle is shaped accordingly, thus making up in
The
makeup.
word beauty comes from a Greek word which means fine quality and goodness. So the word goodness is mostly associated with purity. I know when you think purity, you're thinking white, the color white in your head. I know that. Come on now. Fairness, fair skin, also hands. Lighter skin for the longest time, right, was in close proximity to, or rather, lighter skin was more desired compared to darker skin because lighter skin is seen to, it has a close proximity to goodness, right, rather than darker skin. During the Middle Ages, right, when Christianity was taking center stage in Europe, features such as blonde hair, blue eyes, fair skin, right, was a physical representation of the light of God, or a physical representation of God. Hence, we have as a presentation of God. I remember my pastor, right, at that time, or when I was super religious, right? You know that the story of Noah, right? Apparently, Noah was the first white or albino person. And I remember when he explained that, he said Noah is a physical representation of godliness, right? Or a physical representation of goodness, right?
Thus Lucifer became the devil and his followers the demons. Sent to this world, they would forever be denied bodies of flesh and bone. Those who remained neutral in the battle were cursed to be born with black skin. This is the Mormon explanation for the race. The spirits that fought most valiantly against Lucifer would be born into Mormon families on planet Earth. These would be the lighter-skinned people, or white and delightsome, as the Book of Mormon describes.
So, come on now. Even the word fine quality suggests a product or a project of some sort. When something is determined as quality, it's usually a physical object, right? It's objectified. It is tested by a series of people, right? It is based on a collective agreement of how useful it is and how useful it is, right? Hence, we go back to the first definition of beauty. Beauty is a social construct. Hence, you are never pleased with how you look, no matter the day. There is always something missing, especially as women. There's always something missing. Something needs to be added, removed. Just, you always work towards becoming your best version, right? But you never arrive to your best version because you treat yourself as a project. You treat yourself as a product because you're trying to attain a certain beauty standards that changes it's not every 10 years now. Through social media, it changes every week. Seeing so much bullying on social media based on just how people look. Hence, even people when they participate in self-development and glow up culture, right? We have moved from it being an authentic expression, and it has moved from that to I just don't want to be bullied and I just want to live my life with peace. So it's ridiculously sad that we still bully people based on how they look. We still treat people based on what we see as valuable, right? What we define as beautiful or aesthetically pleasing, right? If you are not aesthetically pleasing in my eyes or beautiful in my eyes, are you even worthy of to be looked at? Are you even worthy to be loved, right? Especially as African people, the system is designed for us to hate ourselves. The system is designed for us to hate ourselves, hence whiteness is in close proximity to goodness, right? Because who is black? Black people, which means black people are in close proximity to what? So, defining our worth based on societal constructs or defining our beauty based on European standards is harmful, very, very harmful. And I get it because in order for us to live like our oppressor, we have to look like our oppressor. In order for us to have a flashy lifestyle, we have to look flashy, and looking flashy involves being lighter, being thinner sometimes, being super rich, right? And that's where classism gets in the conversation, because classicism says that are you even worthy of being looked at if you don't have money, right? Ugqokiteki engana label. Ungubani wena? Ugqokiteki engana label. You don't have a labeled brand. You don't have a brand as like an aesthetic of some sort. You don't have a sleek weave as an aesthetic of some sort. Don't sit with us. Do not come to my table, right? As someone who is passionate about love and deconstructing harmful narratives, it is my goal to unpack very unserious things and make them very serious, right? For fun, also for us to have like this type of conversations, because at the end of the day, especially as African people, there is an element of dehumanization, right, of our existence as black bodies. There is just this disconnect with ourselves, right? And this is the goal for the series. The name of the series is Yes, It Is That Deep. I was about to apologize for being all over the place, but this is my space, this is my YouTube channel, so I will not apologize for my presence and my existence. So to end it all, I hope you give yourself grace to just be a human being. I hope you give yourself grace to exist as you are. Yes, work on yourself for yourself. Work on yourself so that you can look in the mirror and say, my body is beautiful. And say your body is beautiful before you even work on yourself. Like, love yourself before you work on yourself. Because if you work on yourself through the lens of I don't feel good about how I look, or I don't feel good about my body, it will be a cycle, my love. It will be a cycle. You will never feel good about yourself. Catch me next week We will be unpacking girlhood aesthetics. Let me actually give you a glimpse of the conversation or fashion. We're talking about fashion, whether is it political, the rise of anti-feminism through fashion politics. Let's see. The rise of patriarchal surveillance through our nervous system. Please, I'll be cooking. I'm not even done exactly, but I will cook. I will give myself grace to cook. And with that note, love and light, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.